what was it that came to mind for you that you hadn't said?
I'm gonna kill you. I've never said this out loud because I just would say it, that I need help.
That's hard.
I thought that I was Superman and I could do everything. And so recently I had a panic attack and I thought I was having a heart attack and I was with my daughter. And I shield my daughter and the people close to me from all that. And when I told them what was happening, they freaked out. So I know I see why I did it, but it was the first time I ever let anybody help me.
Welcome to Extraordinary Stories. I'm your host, Forbes Shannon, and with me,
Christine Butler.
and today in studio, I'm so glad that this guest was nominated. We got a little bit to catch up. We have some shared Michigan roots, but it's really cool to see the Extraordinary Collaborative, how people keep bringing their most important people
Right.
to the collaborative. We had the pleasure of having Kelly Siegel with us today. Kelly, how you doing?
I am lovely. This is great. I'm loving the smiley faces with the DJ voices that you both have. This is just it's a beautiful Friday here in Michigan. It's good to be alive.
It's good to be alive. I love
What's the weather like there now? Because it's hot here.
It is god awful. So I have
Okay.
a house in Florida and one in Detroit, and I go back and
Okay.
forth. So I don't
Okay.
want to be here, but I have a business here and I have a daughter here. But it is gray. It's trying everything to get nice, first day of
Mhm.
spring, or today or tomorrow is the first day of spring. So, it's not like the Arizona beautiful desert.
There's a reason I came out here and never went back.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's only
Yes.
good for another 3 months, and then you don't want to be here.
yeah, 104 today. It's early. It's early to be 100.
Yeah.
But anyways, the cool thing about Extraordinary Collaborative is how extraordinary people bring other extraordinary people in. Kelly, you were nominated by Rudy Rickstein. How do you know Rudy?
Well, like attracts like, and I got introduced. When you're in this business, the personal development business, I meet amazing people like the two of you, and that's how I met Rudy. And I got introduced by Amberly Lago, and she's like, "You're gonna love Rudy." And the first time I met him, I'm like, huh? And then all of a sudden, he just became my brother from another mother. And this guy breathes into me. When you meet the right people, they
Mhm.
exponentially compound your genius.
Yeah.
Not that I'm super smart, but I have access to super smart people. So Rudy is my brother from another mother. I literally just called him and said, "Hey, I need you to speak on stage." He's like, "Yep, done." And I'm like, "I didn't tell you where." He goes, "Don't care." And it was in
I
Utah.
love that.
And he jumped on a plane and met, because he lives in little South or North Carolina, and he lives in Wilmington. So it's hard for him to get anywhere. Jumps on a plane and gave one of the best speeches. I record every one of them. I'm always in awe. So he is just somebody I didn't know 3 years ago, and now he's a brother from another mother, and that's the way the universe works. What you put
Mhm.
out, you get back, and it's no coincidence that I got to meet you, Forbes, and now you, and it's just life just keeps getting better and better when you create space for good things to come in, and that's the secret to life. Get rid of the bad stuff so good stuff can fill that vacuum.
Well, let's start there. I mean, how did
Yeah.
you learn to create space?
I have a master's degree in falling down and screwing up, and a doctorate and getting back up. You were in Michigan. We're tough. You
Yep.
just learn to be tough. I grew up off of 8 Mile. I grew up in a tough environment. That movie
Mhm.
8 Mile that Eminem made was just like my upbringing, the
Mhm.
fighting, the betrayal, the brotherhood that
Rapping.
really isn't brotherhood. And I just kept measuring my mess ups and going, what
Mhm.
this is the hardest part, is looking in the mirror and saying, what part of this is me? And I hate to say it, most of the time it's always me, and it's always
Mhm.
us. See, we get to control our own destiny. What do they say? If you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Mhm.
If it's good, it is how all in your mind. And so I just constantly make mistakes and never ever give up. And I keep coming until I get what I came for or something greater. That's probably the good part that came out of being poor and abused. You just turn this grit into greatness. And I feel like at 50 years old, I'm just getting started. So if you think you're too old or you're too set in your ways, and that's all baloney.
You know, I love your level of self-awareness. The fact that you can self-reflect and pick all those out and become a better human is your superpower. That's amazing.
Speaking of
I thought I was
self-reflection.
just devastatingly handsome. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, that too, Kelly, of course. Speaking of self-reflection, odd question. Do you have a favorite mistake? One that's in your Hall of Fame where you're like, thank God I made that one?
Oh my God, this is such a good question. You know what my favorite mistake is? My favorite mistake is alcohol. I had a
Mm.
blast drinking alcohol for 25 years. And then one day,
Mhm.
just I was sitting on the beach in Key West, Florida, and just said, I'm gonna go without for a while. And then 7 years later, it became perfect. It became permanent.
Wow.
And my life just started getting crazy good after just, like I said, making space, get the bad out and replace it with the good. And I had no clue what life was like without it. And so I can
Mm.
speak on both dualities. So that was my favorite mistake. And then women
Yeah.
kept being my next favorite mistake. I kept
Of course.
dating the wrong women, and then I was like, "Wait a minute, what am I doing here?" So, yeah.
And what's the biggest difference in a life where alcohol is involved versus a life where it's not?
Yeah, what'd
Like
you
what's
make
the big
space for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boringly winning.
Explain that boringly winning.
My life is so boring because I allow people to love me. I allow people to
Mm.
help me. I delegate, I elevate, and when I was operating in scarcity, I had to hold everything tight. I was the bottleneck.
Yeah.
And I was chasing something that was inside of me the whole time. And once that comes out, the love and the abundance, you can't help but attract more love and abundance.
Yeah.
And and I say, I was the life of the party, had a blast. I've got partied all over the world with crazy celebrities, and that was fun. But
Yeah.
this is
Something tells
more
me you're
fun.
still the life of a party.
Yeah, I would agree. You probably are still the life of a party. It's just a different party. Is that right?
It's a different party, but it's more of the same. You get
Uh,
the unfiltered, no, I say unfiltered. You get the ungoverned guy. Everything I wanted to be drinking, I became not drinking.
mm.
So I wanted to
Wow.
be love, and I wanted to be consistent, and I wanted to be interesting and interested, and I wanted to listen, and it allowed me to do all those. And that's the misnomer is you can create heaven on earth
Mhm.
without any kind of toxicity, but it's hard work, man. Forbes, I just came off of I'm doing the IFS therapy. I'm a never-ending work in progress. I'm a learn it all. I'm gonna constantly be growing, growing, growing because each level that I grow to, I meet a different devil and I got to become a different person. Because what gets you here will keep you here and won't get you there. So
Right.
you kind of unshed and unlearn some things and then become something different to slay the next dragon, if you will. And it's just a blast, man.
We had someone on who explained that it felt like every 6 months they were becoming a new person, a new version of themselves, and they said it was kinda hard for people in their life to keep up. Is that, like, a similar experience that you've had?
Yeah. And it makes you feel I was joking before we hit record and said, "What if I'm not human?" I've called myself an alien many times, but that literally felt lonely. And one of my
Mhm.
childhood traumas was being alone, being abandoned, and that was kinda keeping me small, so I call myself uncommon. And I'm uncommon because if something is wrong, we're gonna fix it. not going to mask it, not going to sweep it under the rug, not going to ignore it. I told you my second book, Happier Than Life, by the time it got released, I'd outgrown it. It was that wild. I wrote that book. It
Mhm.
took a while for publishing to get it out, and I'm like, "Ooh, I've already changed. I've condensed it down to the TLC principles that I shared with you with the training, learning, and coaching." So yeah, it's fun. People that love you and people that are meant to be in your life grow with you, and it's okay that not everybody does it, and you just kinda let everybody go at their own pace and love them just
Yeah.
the same, but I do find myself shedding people, and it saddens me.
Now, are there people in your life that maybe you're frustrated with their pace? And was there people in your life that were maybe frustrated with your pace?
I think, ask if you ask my national technology management, my IT, AI, cybersecurity company, I think they'd say both. They get
Yeah.
I'm frustrated with everybody's, slowness, and they're probably frustrated with my speed. We have a happy medium, and a lot of that comes with me calming down and meeting everybody with love and just abundance and speaking more clearly. When you grow up poor, you always think, there was no food in my house growing up. My
Mhm.
parents were alcoholics and never around. So I had this severe lack. And for the longest time, I built my company out of lack and fear. Like, oh my God, if I don't
Mhm.
sell this deal, I'm not going to be able to eat. And that was all wrong. So I would come into some of these meetings and be like, what do you mean you didn't do your job? And I would, and it's first that it's just now it's completely calm. And we say, and I look at myself first. Did I explain it clearly? Did
Mhm.
you understand it clearly? Did you have enough time? Did we change it? And then we solve it together. And that gets more. So yes, my speed scares a lot of people, but I'm in the process. I just put on LinkedIn four more job openings of bringing what I call killers and assassins. I want more Kellys running around my office
Yeah.
because we're in the AI game and it changes daily,
Oh,
daily.
yeah.
And we are right. So it's my goal. We're in the cybersecurity business, but I automated a lot of the IT and cybersecurity through AI. And I'm like, what more can I do? So we're automating marketing. We're automating websites. We're automating social media. And then it's gone
Yeah.
on to me that there's all these people out there that are so afraid of AI and they're knocking it down. They're talking, and what do we tend to knock things that we don't know about. So what my
Mhm.
goal is to do, or our company's goal is to do, is to make AI consumable and easily digestible for everybody, but really deliver it in a white glove that just says, hey, what is a business practice that you do manually that you need automated? We'll do it. We'll install it for you. And so far, we're doing that just for our customers, and they're like mind blown. And at first, it always starts off the same thing. You can't use AI for that. Okay, cool. Let's try it. And that you asked me a bunch of questions about how I did things. The challenge of if you say something can't be done, game on.
Right.
Impossible only describes a degree of difficulty. It says I'm possible in the word. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, I'm noticing an interesting pattern here, right? Like, talk about like getting some killers and then with a white glove service. And for our listeners who aren't on video, Kelly looks like he lives in a gym,
Yeah.
and then his whole mantra is love. How do those two similarities, how'd you blend those brands?
Oh man, you're such a good interviewer. I how did I let it because you guys started off saying I got to be we have to be authentic and real, and the simple fact of the matter is when you see somebody big, they're usually hiding and masking something.
Mhm.
My stepfather was 6'2", 265 pounds. Used to beat the crap out of me. My mother. They used to think she was like an American gladiator. She worked out all the time. She'd get drunk, come and beat on me. And I just got sick and maybe that's where I got the never say die. Like, you wanna
Mhm.
it
Mhm.
was a problem, so I remember lifting weights in a back room, freezing cold, cement weights on a wooden bench. So you think of the a little kid, 15, 14 years old,
Yeah.
lifting
Right.
weights, just angry. They ain't gonna beat on
Mhm.
me anymore. And so behind all this is a big teddy bear. And it all worked out for me because I can sit back here and be like, "Oh my God, this is a tough world. They made me tough. They did the best they could with what they knew. They weren't
Mhm.
educated people. They didn't have YouTube. So I've forgiven them. I haven't forgotten, but
Uh-huh.
all that stuff worked out for me, Forbes, and I'm grateful for it, man. But it took a lot of therapy to get there. I mean,
For
I've done
sure.
EMDR, hypnotherapy, talk therapy, plant medicine, and now I'm doing IFS. So it's hard to instill confidence in someone that was beat up and beat down the way I was. So and
Yeah.
what did I not get? Love. So I'm
Right.
going to give it and pay it forward. And it made me an amazing father because
Yeah.
everything I didn't get, I poured into my daughter.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful. I just did the opposite of the way I was raised.
Sure. Well, I don't have kids yet. Christine has 2 boys. You're a father, so I'd like to kinda hand the conversation over, and I'd like to really get into this mindset as it relates to parenthood.
Yeah. I think one, I want to say that any human who has been through trauma like that always ends up the best human in the room. Do you know what I mean? They're always the loving, most grateful, kind humans um, in the room. Or you can turn the other cheek and then you're the worst human in the room. But for the most part, the greatest people in the world have gone through the worst things. And so when I'm raising my child, I'm obviously not giving my child the worst childhood. I think I'm doing a pretty good job, but I want them to relate to a child who is going through something like that, right? So being as open and transparent with my kids as possible in regards to their own feelings and how to relate to other kids who might be going through something like
Well, just hearing you speak and having two boys, I would have killed to have you as my mother. Um,
that.
you asked for authenticity. I know no other way, but that just warmed my heart. Yeah, I would have loved to have a mother that cared. When I tell you there was no care, there was nothing. I mean, I remember one
Mhm.
time I cut my foot, had to go to the hospital, and she wouldn't even take me to the
Yeah.
hospital. I drove myself, and then they're like,
Mhm.
"You're not 18. You need a parent." And then she yelled at me
Right.
because she had to leave the house. I mean, it's sad. And you know what? You get what you give in this world. My
Mhm.
stepfather is currently in hospice, has an amputated leg. She hasn't even seen him. He's been there a year and a half. My mother's lives alone, no friends. It's sad. You know, they're
Yeah.
suffering, you know, and that's what I aim not to do. This is why the Heart of the Life movement has to pay it forward.
Yeah.
I don't want to be on my deathbed alone and thinking of what it could have been, and then that big gap between my life is and what it could have been. That regret will just eat me.
Right. Can I ask you a personal question in regards to that? Have you found complete forgiveness for the people and the past?
110%.
Okay.
Because I own it. It's radical ownership of my
Yes.
participation in that. Every
Mhm.
single thing I had control over. Now, some of the childhood stuff,
Mhm.
I probably didn't, but I just have to own my part in it. I mean, there was a time I have a sister who was older than me who was abused as well. She got out of the house and she went to a social worker and said, "Get him out. She's gonna kill him." And I lied and thought I'd said, "Oh, no,
Yeah.
there's no abuse going on." So, hindsight, I probably coulda, went back and had the courage to speak up, and that's pretty much what I've been working on my entire life, is having that courage to speak up, and recently, I've found my voice, and it's no, mistake that the brand is blowing up from it. So, if you want authenticity, you just gotta be who you are. I just saved something from Jordan Peterson that said, "If you have something to say and you don't say it, it's a lie."
Ooh,
Wow.
That hit
Yeah.
me
that's a lot of
hard.
responsibility.
So
Well, you know, there's 3 things what do you say things if they help, if they're kind, and if what's the third one? Kind, if they're help, And if it's there's one more thing and I can't think of it, but the kind one is always what throws everybody off. And they think, oh, well, if I give you criticism, it's not kind. No, that's the kindest thing
Mm.
you can do.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
to be um if you brush something under the rug, that's unkind. People think being
Right. It's
mean,
hard love.
yeah, it's only hard because you don't want to hear it.
Right. Right.
I
Right.
wanna hear it, man. So my podcast, producer says to me all the time, he goes, "You're so coachable." I was like, I don't even sit here and you tell me to say something and I don't and I screw it up and I'm gonna defend it. We all
Right.
do that as humans, and it's extremely counterintuitive. Like, I'm perfectly imperfect, but I'm gonna keep trying. So, take the energy that you're gonna say into that you're gonna defend it and turn it into making it better and just be coachable and make your life create that heaven on earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it's the ego that stops you from really accepting that feedback, or it
Mhm.
could be the ego if you haven't checked it.
Yeah, I can't figure out that ego, I'm good friends with John Gordon, calls it, edging God out. Yeah, I don't know if
Uh,
I kinda just talk to myself a lot, and I ask myself what I need, what's going on, I take an assessment, and, I'm really in tune with my mind and my body. And I can tell when something's going. That's why I can answer things really quick. I do a lot. Like when I get off with you guys, I'll probably meditate and journal and maybe go to the gym for the second time. It's the weekend. I'll do nothing. I recharge, but I get in touch with myself and
Mhm.
make sure that I'm good and that I'm who I'm supposed to be and I'm showing up as the best possible person
So
because
I'm curious.
I haven't always been that person. You have a few cocktails. I like to drink scotch back in the day. I have a few of those. I got some not
It's
so great
dangerous.
frickin'
Yeah.
times there.
Well, you know, another thread that we've been talking about is transformation, right? And continuing to grow and evolve and change who you are as a person. Now, I'm curious. You have this framework of TLC. How does a framework hold up when you are constantly evolving?
Well, I'll check with me in 6 months. We'll see what it does. Um, there's always something that resonates at the moment, and right now, the world is just we need accountability. We need each other. United we stand, divided we fall. Together we rise. We need accountability like we've never been needed in our lives. If you look at the Congress having these hearings and nothing happens of them, it's like
Weird.
you see our congressmen committing crimes and nothing
Mhm.
happens.
Mhm.
What can we do as humans? We can become the best possible version of ourselves and say that's not okay. Because most of us
Mhm.
who are business owners are the silent majority. If we all spoke up and said, this is not okay. I just read about a lady I think she's in Atlanta who had an affair with her married bodyguard, who's not a lady, a senator in Georgia.
Oh,
And it's like, you know what? I don't care what you do, but if you can't control your decisions like that, you can't make decisions for us as a country.
right.
And believe me, I'm sure all of us feel this way.
Yes.
So, our it dictates what's going on in the world. At least mine does. So what do people need? That's how I came up with the TLC. It's just in this world, it's training your mind and body. That's what the T stands for. And training your mind is nothing more than meditation. And then
Yeah.
the training your body is going to the gym. Anybody in the world that works out and meditates that's not doing well, then you're
Good point.
the learning is just all I ask 10 pages or a chapter in a nonfiction book a day. You can listen. The other part is listen to podcasts. And bonus, listen to and read things that you don't necessarily agree with. I listen to some of the people because I want to know how they think. Again, that learn it all.
Mm.
If the algorithm, like it does, constantly is feeding you with the same thing, you think you're the smartest person in the world. Newsflash,
I hear
we're
you.
not.
Right.
So,
Right.
and then the C is this is the most important one is the coaching and counseling, and they're two very different things. Counseling is therapy, but TLC. So I have a coach, Rudy, and I have a therapist, which
Uh-huh.
does IFS. One points out the blind spots and one holds you accountable. You are your most important investment. Spend the money, do the
Yeah.
work. TLC, and you will create heaven on earth. Next year, I'll probably have something different, but this year, America's 250th birthday, it feels like we all need some TLC.
Yeah.
We
I like
all
that.
need some TLC. Hey, I'm curious, when you listen to that Peterson quote about if you say something and you don't, it's a lie. What was it that came to mind for you that you hadn't said?
I'm gonna kill you. I've never said this out loud because I just would say that I need help.
That's hard.
I thought that I was Superman and I could do everything. And so recently I had a panic attack and I thought I was having a heart attack and I was with my daughter. And I shield my daughter and the people close to me from all that. And when I told them what was happening, they freaked out. So I know I see why I did it, but it was the first time I ever let anybody help me. And my daughter came in, laid me down, and put her head on my chest. And it was like, oh, remember that love that I want to feel? I get it from my daughter.
Mhm.
So I need help. We all do.
Yeah.
And the funny
I
thing
love
about it,
that.
when you ask, Forbes, if I send you a text message, I need to talk to you, you're calling
You're
me.
gonna call.
Yeah.
It's freaking it's amazing how as humans we're all here for each other, much more than it seems.
Yeah. So what do you get out of helping people?
Hmm. Worthiness.
Mm.
I was told I was nothing. I was told I would amount to nothing, and I was made to feel nothing. And I'm going to show the world that I'm harder than life, and I'm going to infect this world with lots of love and make it a great place. It is a great place. We need to shift our mindset to understand that. We probably need to make some changes in the rules for elections in Congress, which is coming. The beauty
Which
part about
is
being a
midterm.
technology business is I can tell you that there's already election software that exists that can guarantee our election. It's coming, guys. They're fighting it. That's
100%.
what's happening right now. They're
Yep.
trying
Yep.
to
Mhm.
keep their
Yep.
way of life, and the lights are going on, and the cockroaches are running, and it's coming. You're not going to be able to hide anything anymore because AI allows hackers to hack anything, and anything that's out there will come out. I mean, they've already released the Epstein files
Mhm.
unredacted. If you search
Mhm.
hard enough, you can find them and
Yep.
see the disgustingness that is in those files. And I'm
100%.
not
You know,
judging. I just don't want people that can't control their libido to be making decisions for me because how you do anything is how you do everything. I just don't want people like that making decisions for me.
how you do anything is how you do everything
Yeah.
is great. Like I I include it in my book. It's called the hot mic lesson, where I was using a different mic than I'm used to using at an event, and I got big shotted by the guy I brought on stage, and he made a dig at me, and I was backstage, and not only did I think something negative about this person, I said it under my breath, which was conveniently right into a microphone. And what I learned about that is like, yeah, anyone can find anything, you know?
Mhm.
Don't even
Yeah.
think something if you don't wanna say it in front of 100 people,
Did you
right? Like, be
use
pure of mind.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Did
No, go
you
ahead.
use kind of the framework that I just provided for you to to wonder why it bothered you? Did you take time to say like I know the story because you get shared it with me, but did did you say why? Because most things when you're fully healed, you couldn't say anything to offend me. Nothing.
It
Uh,
was it was
Same.
exactly it was exactly a mirror of of a part of myself I didn't like about making a dig of somebody else,
There you
and
go.
here I was taking offense, and I was like, "No, it's because I didn't like the person I was when I did things like that," you
Mhm.
know?
Yep.
Eh, we we should take everything personally because what we don't understand is that everyone is here to be a mirror for you,
Mhm.
you know?
Mm,
Like
it is
like,
personal. It should
yeah,
be
Yeah.
it's not
personal.
it
You're
it
right.
has nothing to do with the other person, Like, Christine always says this, like, you're never annoyed. No one's ever annoying to you. You are annoyed with yourself.
I carry on around a bunch of mirrors, and as I'm giving my keynotes, I'll pull out. I go, "I got the one thing that'll fix your life," and everyone's like, "Wait!" And I pull out this little mirror, and they're like, "Oh!" It is so true. When I was going
That's
through
hilarious.
my transformation, when I really declared war on myself during the
Mhm.
pandemic, I would go and I would look into the mirror and I would say, I love myself for 10 minutes every day until I really embodied it and felt it. The mirror
Mm,
is the strongest tool in the world.
totally.
And if we
Did
look
you
into it,
know
go ahead.
most people can't? Most people cannot last more than a minute looking at themselves in a mirror,
Ooh, now I'm gonna
in
have to
the
go down
eyes.
the rabbit hole and research that because I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
me. I love looking
I
at
do
myself.
too. So
Hey, you
he
know
loves
what, man?
himself.
I love staring at me. I think that, when you work as hard as I have, you measure the gain and not the gap. I still got a
Right.
long ways to go. I'm going to live a long life, 120 at least. I'm 50 and I'm very proud of what I did. It was a lot of work and I'm just getting started.
Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
I'm just getting started. I love that mentality because no matter where you are, you can always say that to yourself. I'm just getting started, you know? And I
Mhm.
have this new thing that because I have the best job in the world,
Totally.
to sit here and
Yeah.
listen to these people. And what I'm realizing is, you know, every day is vacation. But from our conversation here, I'm realizing that every day is the first day of vacation. Why not feel like
Right,
it's the
right.
first day of summer, you know?
Yeah. Well, see, if you're making an itinerary, like I make itineraries for every vacation, it's like day one is museum day, and that's the best day.
You make itineraries for your vacation?
I do.
Oh, we would be terrible together. I just kinda roll with the flow. I like to do that, have a loosey-goosey idea, but some of that also too. I would implore you, this is how a little secret to my life hacks, is I do the opposite of what I usually do. So,
Oh, okay.
go and try to not make an itinerary and let your body, like, freak out because it will, because it's not used to
Yeah.
that, because we are what are we as humans? We're always trying to control
Mhm.
something that we can't control,
Yeah.
what happens
Right.
next. And but
Right.
that itinerary makes you feel like you have the illusion of control. Go into
Right.
it without the itinerary. Listen to watch your body go all jumbled and butterflied and sit in
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
and then watch the growth. That's where the magic happens. We don't like to feel uncomfortable, but that's where the growth happens. Worst time of
I
my
fully
life,
agree. Yeah.
literally 6 years ago right now. The whole world shut down. I was forced to be alone, and I had to sit with my shit. Stillness, solitude, and silence. And it sucked. I had to do it all weekend long, and there was nobody to call, nobody to come over because we didn't know what the heck this COVID was. Remember the first
Mhm.
days? We were
Yep.
people
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, be careful of your Amazon packages. You gotta wipe them." I mean, it was
Right.
insane. I was dying laughing, going, "If that's the case, if this virus is so deadly it can be on a cardboard box, we're all smoked." But
Yeah.
I
Right.
had to
Right.
sit there that weekend in my thoughts alone. And in some respects, man, the lockdown was the best thing in the world that happened to me
Yeah. I'll
because I
let you
was
look at that way.
forced to face my fears. And that's it. Face your fears, live your dreams. So give it a try. You're gonna message me
Yeah.
and go, "This is the worst thing ever," and then afterwards you're gonna go, "Oh, this is
Well,
awesome."
I
You know
do leave
another
30
one,
minutes of crazy time, free time.
another thing to do that it's so simple for all your listeners, take a phone vacation. Put your
Yeah,
phone
we're good
down
at
for
that.
24 hours and watch yourself freak out. Afterward, though, you'll be like, "Whoa." I do it for 7 days, but between Christmas and New Year's every year.
Okay.
I did it a couple
Wow.
first time I did it, I didn't realize how much is tied to your phone. All
Right.
your
Yeah.
streaming services, the gym. Heck, I one of
Directions.
my condo in Florida, that's how I opened the door. So you
Right.
have to make but the funny thing about it is you can make do. After the week, I actually don't wanna grab it again.
I've started doing that on like a micro scale where I would take an hour in the middle of a
Yeah,
day and go to a coffee shop and write about my phone. And it was
beautiful.
mind blowing how like my brain would start to make up these reasons that I need to go home and get my phone. It's like you're missing a meeting right now, you know? And I was like, I know I checked my calendar before I didn't have a meeting. I don't know why, but my brain was convinced because the only place I check if I had a meeting is in my phone, you know?
So
And
another
then
life hack is,
yeah.
and you probably do this, but during that, just change it to when you're walking to the coffee shop, just do gratitude and look around at all your outsides and you'll forget
Good.
about that stuff. It's a gratitude walk. I do that all I take my dog for a gratitude walk outside and I leave my phone. You
Yeah.
have to. We're not meant to be this darn connected. It's
No.
insane. By the way,
And
little
you're
thing, you wanna know something that does irritate me? Everybody in public bathrooms sitting on their phone. You gotta go number 2 and they're all freaking stalls are full and I can see in there and people are on their phone like,
You
"I
can
gotta
see you
go,
looking.
get out."
That's hilarious. Oh my god.
and then, to take it one step further, Kelly, here's the other thing is when I got home, I was sure that like, the world had ended and I must have had like a million messages. Not one. Like no one was trying to get in touch with me. And here I was racing home. And
It's
that
your
was
mind.
it was humbling in a whole other way,
Right, right.
right?
It's not
But
that
yeah.
important.
Yeah. That has been a blessing to learn that lesson
Yeah.
that I'm not that important. I'm always worried what other people are thinking of me or, you know.
Oh, isn't that
Well, and think
true?
about the kids.
Yeah. And no one cares. They're all
No.
focused on themselves,
They're all focused
you
on
know?
their stuff and their own crap. It's so wild how the mind it gives you magical lies.
Right. Well, and like think about a child whose brain isn't fully developed, who is constantly attached to a phone and it's just becoming part of who they are in their
So
foundational years. That's
how old are
wild.
your
Yeah.
how old are your boys?
13 and 9.
So my daughter is 17, and for years, she got a phone at 10, which I didn't want to give it to her. Her mother did. I have made her every night. She has to put her phone downstairs on the charger. So she,
Yeah, same
to
with
this
mine.
day, still puts her phone downstairs to not sleep with it. It's the worst thing in the world to grab this thing first thing in the morning and start letting it dictate your days.
It's the
It's not
worst.
normal, guys. It's just not.
It's not.
No, not.
Mm.
Um, Kelly, we ask everybody on Extraordinary Stories this. I'm curious what Kelly is curious about.
I'm curious about. Oh, this is going to be controversial. You know what's keep, but what I think about more than anything is what the truth is about why we keep protecting Israel. I know it sounds weird, but I remember all the way as I was a kid, no matter if it was a Democratic regime or a Republican regime, we always protected Israel, and I just it's not making sense to me anymore. And I'm in Detroit. The reason why I say this is the reason why it keeps coming up is I'm in Detroit. We have a big Arab population, a big Jewish population. Everybody gets along here, but recently there's been some attacks on the Jews, and it just made me think like, what's really going on? And if you ever
Mhm.
watched the movie Wag the Dog, it's like what is going on in this world and why do we have to be the world's policeman? And
Mhm.
I don't get it. I really, really look forward to the day that I understand why we have to be the world's police, why we can't just get along, and why we blindly and I'll tell you, full disclosure, I'm Jewish, but I still don't understand why the Israel is out here being a bully or what's the word? They're in the middle of everything. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And I want to know why. And to add to that is what did Charlie Kirk have to do with this? I don't know. I'm fascinated. I don't know. The things that make you go, hmm, all the way
Well,
back
I
through to
do.
COVID. And like, what was that all about?
Yeah.
Well, I
'Cause
think if you
I
look
know that
deep
probably
enough.
wasn't the question you were asking, but I
No,
sit back and think like, what?
I think I think the important takeaway there is, the freedom to
Mhm.
question everything yourself. Like everything has some form of influence, right? Whether it's podcasts you listen to, the media, even just how people show up in life. Everyone's trying to influence somebody some way. And the
True.
idea of questioning everything I think is a great takeaway. Yeah.
Mhm.
It
I
was not where I thought you were going, but I love that you went there. Yeah,
I
for sure.
just it makes me the things that make you go, "Hmm," and part of that is I just gave a speech for America's 250th birthday. Obviously, I love this country. I think it's the f
Yep.
it's I've traveled all over the world, and if you think it sucks here, go to another country. I don't care what country, it's just different, and it's not
Yep.
as safe. We don't have the rights, and I think about it a lot because when the founding fathers wrote, we have the inalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I argue that they got it wrong because it's the pursuit of happiness is what they wrote. It's the pursuit of life, of living, of really living. We're all
Mhm.
prisoners in our mind. So are you living? So pursue living and pursue liberty, which is freedom. Be free, not just having money to move about the world, but be free in your mind and your body. And then, of course, we all want to be happy, but are we pursuing happiness? I think we're pursuing things. And what we really
Mhm.
want is that feeling and the
Right.
emotions of those things. Here's a newsflash: you can create that without having those things.
Yeah,
Mhm.
The
for
more
sure.
things
So
I accumulate, the less I want them, and the more I just want the feeling.
Yes.
yes, absolutely. I love the minimalism. If something else is coming in the house, something's got to go.
Yep.
Hey, we ask this to everybody, and you've given so much advice already. But if there was one piece of advice that you could give our listeners that they could act on today to live more extraordinarily, what would it be?
Hmm. It's a Ram Dass quote that I have up in my bathroom, and it's love everybody and tell the truth. If I could pass one law and universally amongst us, it would be that we have to tell the truth, not your truth, the
Mm.
truth. It would make life a lot
Mhm.
easier. People can handle the truth. Like
Mhm.
if we just came out and said, yes, Epstein did this for this reason, and these are the 15 people that did all the bad things. We just deal with them and we move on. But the lying and the deceit, it just creates too much energy. What do they say?
Mhm.
Um, the truth hurts once, a lie hurts forever. Tell the truth,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and everything's love.
The truth hurts once, a lie hurts forever. I love that. Well, you
Add
can
that to
read
your
more
book.
about I will. That was money, dude. I love how he ends on a mic drop. You can read more about Kelly Siegel at joinextraordinary.com. That's joinextraordinary.com and at joinextraordinary on all our socials. I'm Forbes Shannon.
I'm Christine Butler.
I'm Kelly Siegel. Hey, one more last thing. If you guys
Yes.
message me on Instagram, follow me, kelly.siegel.71. I will send you electronic copies of both books for free. I'm not doing this stuff for
Okay.
money. I just want to put it out in the world. Just got to say where it came from. Say extraordinary, and we'll send those over to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Kelly. We
Thank you.
appreciate that. And to all our listeners, we'll see you next time.